Me myself.
Hi, girls.
Hi.
First of all,
Hi,
I do
girls.
want to just acknowledge that I'm very happy the way things turned out this year. For the first time in my 7 years, I got to spend more time with the girls, and you guys are awesome. You were a lot of fun, so I'm very happy that we got to spend this time. I feel like there was a lot of DMCs going on the trip, and so maybe you know every story that there is in my life. All right, one message that we'll talk about as the final one is,
Guys, don't cry.
you know, in life,
Never.
we like when things make sense, and we like when we're in control of how things are happening to us. We love it when we know who our friends are. We love it when we know what grades we're supposed to get. When we're in control, it feels awesome, and it feels like life makes sense. There was an experience that I had in my lifetime that kind of flipped my life upside down. Happens to be my wife is here.
Hello.
More hers than mine, but I learned a meaningful lesson from this one experience. So Jill and I were supposed to be married on May 31st.
You gonna say the story?
And
I want to cry.
I got a very frantic phone call from my mother-in-law one night, and she's hysterical crying. And she says, "Would it be okay with you if we moved the wedding to March 16th?"
From May.
So a little earlier than anticipated.
Oh,
And I said, of course, but you know, what's going on? So she mentioned that Jill's grandmother was very, very sick. She had stomach cancer, and they were very afraid that she wasn't going to make it to the wedding, and they really wanted her to be at the wedding. And I said, of course, anything to help out the family, we'll make it work. March 16th, great, I'm in. And so we're getting closer and closer to the date for our wedding that we're looking forward to for a very long time. 3 days before the wedding, unfortunately, Grandma Helen passes away. And in that instant, you know, it was tough for me to be selfish, to think about what effect it had on my life, because again, we're talking about how impactful this was for so many other people, but I'm just going to share from my personal experience. I was devastated, and I was crushed, and very simply, I'm recognized as somebody who dances, who has fun, and who, you know, really loves to party. And here I am, I'm about to get ready for my own wedding, my own biggest party of my life, and I'm depressed, and I have no motivation to get out of bed. It was a very, very tough time. And I thought about this lesson in particular, about how I needed life to play out a certain way. I needed Grandma Helen to be there. I needed for it to be absolutely perfect, the way I designed and anticipated that it would look like. And then I thought about it, and I reflected, and I said to myself, that's not the way life is. It's not what you think it's supposed to be. It's not your definition of perfection. And it's not about what it is that you're doing. It's about how you do what you're doing. See, every single person here is uniquely different in their own respect. Some of you are great dancers, some of you are great at science, some of you are great at whatever it is that your interests are. You don't have to be good or perfect at any one particular thing. You just have to be you. And every single one of you has the capacity, has the power to just do the right thing at every single endeavor that you want to put your mind to. So whether you're playing sports, and whether you're doing math, whether you're doing whatever it is that you're doing, here are the questions that you should be asking yourself in the back of your mind. Are you doing what you're doing with respect? Are you doing what you're doing with love? Are you doing what you're doing with passion? Right? Every single one of you, regardless of what it looks like, regardless of what you thought it was supposed to look like, always has the ability to control how you do what that is. See, if we define our life and our experiences on what, and we need a particular friend, and we need a particular class, right? I remember when I was a kid and we were figuring out what schools we were going to go to for high school. It was a big deal which class you were going to be in. Am I in the honest class? Am I in the bridge class? Am I in this class, that class? And if it wasn't exactly what I wanted it to be, it was like devastation. Girls, something that I've learned in my lifetime is that life, more times than not, will not work out the way you thought it was supposed to be. And just as an extra, sometimes what you thought it was supposed to be would have turned out to be the lesser alternative, right? You were better off recognizing what you didn't think was going to happen. See, we have to recognize we need to be vulnerable, that we don't hold all of the cards to life. We don't know everything and why things work and how they're supposed to work. We have to focus on what we can control. What we can control is how we live life. What values do we want for ourselves? You're about to enter into high school. Life's going to get a little bit tricky, a lot of it tricky, right? You're going to move into these bigger classes, more advanced social groups. Maybe some peer pressure situations may arise. And the question is, what are you asking yourself? Is it, what am I doing? Am I doing what everybody else is doing? Am I doing what everybody expects me to do? Or am I focused on how I do it? Am I doing it with love and with respect and with all the values that you have set out for yourself to live your life? So, in my final address to you fantastic girls, I just want to say that I am absolutely humbled and privileged that I was able to spend time with girls that are amazing and as talented and as awesome as you. I am so confident that you have the personality and the skill set and the talent to be successful at whatever it is that your heart desires. Sometimes it may be a little bit tricky and we may feel like we're a little bit lost, and that's okay. That's a part of your journey as you navigate life. But always remember, who are you? Where do you come from? Where is home? Who is family? Right? Barkai is always going to be home. This is always going to be family. We will always be here for you. Myself, Mrs. Grunsfeld, Sarah, even those that are abroad in Israel. This is love, this is family, and we will always be here to support you. But never ever forget who you are, what is in your control. We want to focus on how we live life. We don't want to focus so much on what we do, because what we do is not so much in our control. One day I thought I was getting married on May 31st, and the next day I was sitting in a shiva home 3 days before my wedding. Definitely wasn't plan A. It wasn't exactly what I thought I was going to expect in my life. Let's live life on how, on who we are, what's important to us. Always remember that this is home and that this is family. And never ever be afraid to just be yourself and do your thing. Shabbat shalom.